You're an artist, beginner or intermediate, looking to either change up your style or incorporate a different technique into your work. Let's say you're looking for a hair tutorial online and you see a lot of styles that you like from a vast selection of creators. You watch those videos and then you're thinking to yourself, something is missing. You wish there had been more information. Hair types and hair textures. Yes, they do get talked about a lot, but honestly, we need a little bit more information for where we're going. And I have that information for you. Ready those pens, fellow artists, and not any of you AI prompt users. Don't you dare call yourselves artists. This is a guide on how you can go about shading hair. But before we touch the toes, the tip of learning how to shade, there are a few things we must learn first. And those are the fundamentals. Hair types, parting hair into sections, hairstyles, line weight, you'll see what I mean. And after learning those, the sweet part of the tutorial will be how to shade these hair types. Strap in, we're ready. And I'll be doing everything from scratch, like Joshua Wiseman. This diagram displays hair types from 1A to 4C. I'm just kidding. I gotta love my 4C girlies out there. 1A to 1C hair types are smooth. It's one of the most common hair types used in digital media, for example, animations, video games, and illustrations. Am I explaining the obvious? Yeah. 2A to 2C hair is a little less straight. Think of ocean waves. 3A to 3C is I describe them as coily hair, and then for the one awkwardly standing in the claws, 4A to 4C. That hair type is basically in a love and hate relationship. All my black girlies and guys know this, but despite that, it's one of the most beautiful Afrocentric hair types.
I don't care what anybody says because this is my popular belief.
This is one of the most beautiful hair types. Look how she doesn't care, and it's amazing.
I am so sorry I had to break immersion, but girlies out there with type 4 hair, love yourself.
We start off by talking about the density. This type of hair type doesn't have much volume to it, so it's very light and it falls flat. Whenever it's touching the shoulders, it actually forms the shape of the shoulders. Now let's go into the parting of these types of hairs. So the only thing you need to do so far when starting out drawing hair, any type of hair, what you want to do first is find the hairline. The hairline is right here. Unless you want to give her a 5 head, the hairline can be up here. Look like she has a receding hairline. Okay, stay focused. So when parting the hair, you are controlling which direction the hair flows. As you can see with these two examples, there is a side part and a middle part. The side part allows the hair to flow in that direction, while the middle part allows hair to fall on both sides. When it comes on to the line art for the hair, I don't use one pressure. I like to add pressure in various areas of the hair. When you do this, it kind of gives the hair some sort of expression and emphasizes on it. In the creases, I like to go with a little bit more lining in certain areas of the creases to have it stand out, to create some sort of separation. But I think I missed one step though. Okay, how do you even get the hair to look like this? First, what you want to do is start off with a big shape, then divide it down like so. Adding more strands at a time, you can look at references from artists and also real life images of how hair strands are, how a clump of hair works and how it separates from each other depending on where it's flowing. The main shapes that I use to divide the hair are acute angle shapes. Think of these shapes like taking a slice of pizza. Type 2 hair. When it comes down to the density, this type of hair has more volume to it. In areas like this, where you can see triangular shapes in the hair, as the hair cannot stay flat onto the scalp. Most, if not all, describe these types of hair as being bouncy. The way they flow, they have bumps to them, the way they also fall on the shoulder. When it comes on to type 1 hair, they're not known for the most fullest of hairs, but for type 2 hair, you kind of need to express that. So going in, you need to draw a flat shape. Oh my god, I think I shake my mic. So in this case, we're not doing too much dividing, but more adding onto it. So as you're applying these methods, you see how wonderful and luscious the hair is becoming. I wish I had these types of hair when I came out of the womb. As we go further down the hair food chain, you'll realize these hair types have a mind of its own. Speaking of hair with a mind of its own, let me introduce you to the most stubborn hair types, which are type 3 hair. So here we are with type 3 hair. It really doesn't matter where you part the hair will still follow the direction that you part it in. It is stubborn, it is kinky, but once you make a part, it will flow there. While type 2 hair obeys gravity, type 3 doesn't. It do so when it feels like. Just add a little bit of water and it's like, boom, I'm sad. I don't like to start off with a line art. For this one, I most likely just use a color. I start off with a color to block in the basic shapes. Because when I do the line art first, I overthink the shape of the hair or what each curly strand looks like. So to save myself from crashing out, I take a big brush with a color, blocking in the basic shapes. After blocking in, I like to go in with the line art to then shape, redefine some of the curls. Now, for example, 2. We have a ponytail going on. This is what we call a slick back. A slick back is basically describing the hair, coily or curly hair being stretched out for a tight fit, controlled hairstyle. And now for the kinkiest hair of them all, type 4 hair. This hair defies all laws of gravity.
Why do we keep doing that? Like, it's going this way. Like, no, I'm trying to straighten it down. This shit keep going like, whoop. Like, no, go do.
Okay, getting into it now. The types of brushes that I use for this isn't just your standard brush with a soft tip at the end. I like to use texture brushes when fleshing out the shape of this. I'll leave a link to those brushes below. I don't usually use line art when it comes on to type 4 hair. I like to freehand it by just fleshing out the shape and redefining it. If you prefer to use line art, you can go ahead. A tip that I can give you is to add another layer. Select a color and then just add a few strands. By doing this, it really makes the hair look cool and aesthetically pleasing. When it comes on to controlled hairstyles, we have braids and locks. We're going to start off with the simplest hairstyle, and that is box braids. We are going to outline the hairline, block it in with the color. We're going to then divide it up like a checkerboard. You will then create a layer. You'll add the layer effect. The layer effect will be the border effect. Set it to black and choose a color of your choice for the hair color you want. Then what I like to do is just draw a few lines. The next thing you're going to do is copy and paste that layer. You're going to delete everything, but you're going to keep the same layer settings. You're then going to grab that layer and place it under the first layer. Continue drawing more lines. It's going to look rough at first, but don't worry, we're not at the rendering stage yet. Learning from scratch has its benefits. When diving into using preset brushes, understanding the fundamental will then make it look less stiff. Speaking from experience here, yes, I do know the fundamentals, and I can use preset brushes, but I have more fun torturing myself doing it, one strand at a time. Call me a masochist. I don't care. I love the pain. And with no pain, there's nothing to gain. Now, for the locks. It's a nonchalant dreadhead!
Nonchalant dreadhead, stop shaking your dreads. You're distracting the girl. My bad, teach.
To create the best nonchalant dreadhead, we first want to know the thickness of the locks. It can be either the bulky or average size. The most common mistake is overcomplicating how locks are drawn. Firstly, you want to know how the hair flows like so, before you start dividing them up into small locks. It is the same when you part the locks into different sections. I like doing the locks like this as they give a more organic look. The best artist to reference for lock hairstyles is Likelihood Art. I admire the look of how she draws lock hairstyles. Most times when locks are close together, it is not necessary to draw every long strand. For the sake of simplification and time, you can clump them together. Okay, for the part of the video you've all been patiently waiting for. Shading. Starting off with type 1 and type 2, I hope you guys have been paying attention so far. I'm not looking at your recommendations. Hey, stay focused.
Okay, jingle, pay attention, I said your favorite word, the back rooms, okay, the back rooms.
Step 1, fill in the flats. Paying attention?
Dingle, dangle, dingle, dangle.
Step 2, gradient. I like using a lighter color at the top of the hairline, or where the bangs fall on the face. You're getting it right.
Dingle, dangle, dingle, dangle.
Step 3, accent color. This has become a popular trend that I've been enjoying myself, as it does divert more attention to the face when you apply an accent color right where the hair falls behind the nape of the neck. I also like adding it in places like here. I don't know what you call here, but yeah, at this part here. This hair part here, yeah. Step 4, applying shadows. I apply some shadows in some areas of the hair based on how I want the lighting. Step 5, blending. So now that areas of the hair has been blocked out, it is time for us to start blending. I like to take a darker color and apply it near the line art of the hair so it gives it a softer look. I like using a diamond shape pattern and then blending it in with the hair. This is a stylistic choice. By doing this, it looks less boring, bringing a bit of flavor to the overall appeal. We don't cook bland over here on this channel. We cook with a lot of spice. Applying a lighter color, sometimes tinted with a bit of accent color added to parts of the shadows on the hair. By doing this, it's not necessarily a highlight. Think of it like some sort of reflection. Where the hair flicks up, applying a lighter color improves the dimension of the shading. Step 6, highlights. And, oh, I was not going to leave this part out. That's it for how you shade hair types 1 and 2. For my beautiful people of color, let me break it down. Starting off with type 3, where we're going to follow the same steps. Flats, gradients, shadows. This is what I do differently when I'm shading this type of hair. I use the line art as a guide when shading. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but follow the brushstroke and what I'm doing exactly. By paying close attention to what I'm doing, you'll gain a better understanding of the technique that I'm using. And where it falls at the back, we'll keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate where the shadows are here. It's as simple as doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying this in-depth tutorial so far. If you don't mind commenting down below and subscribing, it helps the channel in a big way. All right, let's get back into it. Going on to type 4 hair. I find that illustrating afro hair, in my opinion, is very satisfying. Just using different brushes and scribbling away without too much thought, you're like, okay, but how do we go about applying shadows? After applying the gradient, I suggest looking at references for where the light would hit and how it would interact with the afro. Let's block in where we'd want the shadows, and after that, we'll start scribbling away. I call it scribbling for the most part. I didn't say this before, but adding a lighter color as like a gradient effect, especially where the light is hitting, while also using a darker color at the ends of the hair. This helps to provide you with the building blocks for color picking and blending at the same time. Minimizes the stress, and this is coming from someone that constantly crushes out at their desk, so you don't have to. I hope you guys have been staying focused so far. Dingle dangle dingle dangle. We're not done yet. Let's hop back right into hairstyles for textured hair. So for braids, I'll select the layer to add some gradient and then rasterize the layer. This will allow us to render over it and blend away. As I mentioned before, we focus on refining the most important parts and then simplify with the hair that falls at the back. When doing each braid, think of the crochet pattern when crocheting or knitting. That helps you to give you a proper visualization of how you can properly go about rendering braids. What'll also keep it more uniformed is doing the zigzag method, but I didn't really use that. I'm just comfortable with another way of doing it. But for those that struggle with maintaining how the braids are coming out, you can do that method. And there you go. For locked hair, it's a nonchalant dreadhead!
Nonchalant dreadhead, stop shaking your dreads. You're distracting the girl. My bad, teach.
Apologies. Sorry, my ladies. For locked hair, we'll be applying a dark color around the edges of the line art for a soft look. I then went in with a light dark color like so. I mapped out the highlights by using saturated colors that complements the hair for a shiny look. I created a new layer, color pick a color, and started to add some frizz to the lock. It's as easy as that. If you were overcomplicating it, you have now seen a simplified way of drawing lock hair. Preset brushes are great, but not knowing the fundamentals of drawing these hairstyles makes it difficult for you when you're using preset brushes because it just comes out looking stiff and not the way you imagine. And honestly, those are one of the most common mistakes. I wish I learned all of these the easier way and not the hard way. God damn, these generations having it easy. Do I sound old? Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just a Gen Zer. Now that you've learned everything you can, it's like collecting the Infinity Stones. You have now leveled up. Well, that's all the information I served up to you guys today. Let me know what else you'd like to learn from me. Have a good one, guys. Now I'm off to go shake my dreads.